welcome and a very happy evening to all the respected speakers and dignitaries today, and a warm welcome to Akash Babar sir as well. I am Jyoti Gupta, your moderator and host for today evening. I just to give a little brief about myself. I am a trainer, motivational speaker, writer, and a corporate professional. And I have been associated with Babad International Family as a speaker, and also Mr. Akash has been a very dear friend of mine as well. So it is an absolute privilege today to host this session and listen to all you wonderful speakers. So let me give you a brief about what ABCD International Family is all about. ABCD International Family is one of the best training consultancies who provide various training programs like Train the Trainer, Life Coach Certification, Corporate Training, Business Coaching, and many more. As you all know, ABCD International Family already continued to conduct 10 virtual international summits, 100 plus free webinars on various topics, and 10 batches of signature program known as Train the Trainer. From January 2022, ABCD International Family started a great platform like ABCD International Talks. On this platform, various successful people share their journey, experiences, skills, strategies, knowledge, ideas, life story, and success principles to inspire the world. Today, ABCD International Family is associated with different trainers and educators from 25 plus countries, and the journey still continues. Babad International Publication is one of the fastest growing publication company internationally. In just 22 days, Babad International Publication had become the world record holder organization. Babad International Publication helps authors to write, publish, and brand their own books. We help other authors to publish their books in world record events or grand offline book launching ceremony. Babad International Publication is renowned and trustworthy among existing and upcoming new authors. Babad International Publication publishes various books like ebooks, paperback, hardcover, audiobooks, and video books. Babad International Publication always works on various strategies and their authors and guide to how to use their books as a business tool. Babad International Publication work on book writing, publishing, and branding workshops from 5th standard level to PhD level. The objective behind the workshop is to empower and transform authors and their work. Babad International Publication is currently working in 11 plus countries. Currently, we have 100 plus brand ambassadors in various states and countries. This is a grand introduction about Babad International Publication and the awesome work which they have been doing to encourage authors across the world to write, pen their views and ideas through books. So let me welcome you all to Business Leadership and Team Building Summit. To start with our eminent guest speakers, we have Manoj Kumar Singh, Radhika Bali, Neha Gupta, Rahul Tolani, Nidhi Bansal, and Mohit Tukral. So I would like to invite our first guest speaker, Manoj Kumar Singh. Let me give a brief introduction about Mr. Singh. Mr. Manoj Kumar Singh is National President and Trustee of Power in Me Foundation. He has 13 plus years of professional experience. During this time, he has worked as a scientist, business development manager, social worker, social entrepreneur, trainer, mentor, life coach, author, content writer, publisher, podcaster, and international motivational speaker. He was awarded Rex Karamveer Chakra Award by iCongo, recognized by United States in 2019. He was awarded Best Motivational Speaker of the Year by EFI in 2019. He was awarded Kalki Gaurav Samman by Kalki Foundation in 2020. He was also awarded Guinness World Record in 2022. He has also got another world record as a part of International Speakathon organized by ABCD International Family in 2022. He has also filed a patent in veterinary health. He is working for the welfare of people with rare diseases and their family. He has worked along with Center for Entrepreneur Development, Madhya Pradesh, imparting training in Siliguri district, also providing training to women self-help groups in Singrauli as a part of Rural Livelihood Generation Program of Madhya Pradesh. So a warm welcome to Mr. Singh, and the stage is all yours, sir.
Thank you so much, Jyoti ma'am, for this introduction. And first of all, I would like to thank ABCD International Family and Babad International Publication for organizing this wonderful summit, and Akash ji, the brain behind it and the main person behind it. So as our summit is on business leadership and team building. So let's start with the thing that nothing could be understood or told without stories, right? And one such example is our one of the organizers, right? Babad, the international publication, right? So you are using the power of storytelling. So here today, I'm going to talk about storytelling, right? So one, if you are able to tell the stories in a right way, you inspire and motivate more people to be like you, and at times to be better than you. The examples of great leader, it could be in any field, right? Not only the business leadership. When I talk about leadership, it goes to every realm of the society. For even business, for any business to grow and to become a really big entity or a very big organization, to have its presence, it should have leaders at every stage. Not only the people who are the CXOs, right? The CEOs, CMOs, or CTOs, or the board of directors, but the managers or the people at the lower level who have aspirations and who have their journey and stories to tell. Because nothing works without a team, right? And a leader is someone who is very good at telling the stories, right? He talks about his story, and if he or she is working for your organization, they understand your story there and your journey. And that is where they can club those journeys together to form a new story. So this is what I am trying to highlight. So it is the stories that connect us, right? We as humans, for centuries, we love to hear stories, interesting stories, right? And we love to tell stories. There are different ways of telling stories. So a good organization or a good leader knows that there is not a fixed way to tell that story, right? At times, you will find people who believe in working and delivery. That is their style of telling the story. That, see, this is how the things are done. And this is how I have taken my journey ahead. And this is my story. Because once that story is told in a proper way, it also brings in respect from the people in your team, right? And it also connects more people into the team. So the important part of any organization to grow is, okay, you have found a person who can tell a good story, but you need a team that believes in that story, how to get it together, right? So this is also a part of storytelling. Because when you're communicating, storytelling is an important part of communication. When you are telling a story, right? And there are right people with the same vibration, same mindset. I use the word a vibration because I am actually in spirituality also. So you may tend to find me using the word vibration. That is, again, thought process and things we believe in to be in the simplified form, right? So once you find right people who believe in the same thing and they are telling those stories to you, you tend to believe them, right? At many times, you idolize them. You want to be like them, right? Let's take an example of our Indian cricket team. When Dhoni came in, right? Mahendra Singh Dhoni, and there was a transition period in the Indian cricket team. And India was losing some of the big tournaments, even when we had big names in the team, right? Probably there was some lack of proper storytelling because there is in cricket, when Sachin Tendulkar is considered the god, and the god story was not able to drive the team to get result, right? There was something lacking. So there was a storyteller, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, the leader, right? He inspired the generation of his time, people who went ahead of him, right? Like Sachin Tendulkar, Rahul Dravid, they all played under him. They were very senior to him. And at the same time, the generations like Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, and all, they played under him. He groomed them. So this is an example of a great storytelling that we have in the form of the cricket team that in India, which almost everyone follows, right? This goes with the business model because when once there is a right person who is telling the right stories, he will keep everyone together. People who are senior to him, because in team there is a mixed composition. When we talk about team, there's a mixed composition. You need senior people who bring in experience with them. You need young, enthusiastic people who aspire to become someone or something in their life. So you need to bring them together. A good storyteller or a good business leader knows how to bring them all together and make a good story for their organization, right? And that's what goes into development of new products, innovation, right? And how you market and project out to the world there, right? So this is what I am trying to share with you guys, that if we have, as an organization, we are to grow, then we need to find those storytellers at every stage, right? At every part of the hierarchy of the organization. And we need to give them the freedom to tell their story in their style, right? How they can build a team, because a true leader will definitely build you a team that will give you results not for a short time duration, but for a longer time duration. And that is what we all as an organization, as a business entity also aspire for. So I think I'd like to put my talk now to a stop, and I believe that you were able to understand what the importance of storytelling in building an organization, and how this also is important being a good leader and team building. Thank you so much. And thank you once again to the organizers, ABCD International Family, and Bawat International Publication for this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Singh, for sharing such a wonderful thought and how stories help us connect with each other. So that was a beautiful perspective from your end. And thanks a lot for sharing that with us as well. Next, I would like to invite our next speaker, Neha Gupta ma'am. So I would like to give her introduction. Neha Gupta is a driven individual who has completed BCom from Delhi University, MCom from IGNOU, and B.Ed from GGSIPU. She has contributed in 50 plus anthologies and has compiled 3 anthologies. Beyond my expectations, Comeback, Wings to Fly. She has also published her debut fictional novel, What It Feels Like Growing Up as a Girl. Currently, she is working with the top leading marketing agency and is also the founder of Cosmoclan magazine, which caters to publish the pieces of talented people and stimulates them to recognize their work at a global level. She believes not only in the power of words, but also leans more towards action. Furthermore, she stands to inspire thousands of people with her work. Apart from this, she has also received featured in various magazines and news channels. She is the recipient of the Indian Book of Record, Elite Book of Record, Kalam Book of Record, Bravo International Book of Record, and National Leadership Excellence Award and Virtual Excellence Award from Rotary Club Mumbai West Coast. So, a very warm welcome to Neha ma'am, and the stage is yours, madam. Over to you.
Thanks a lot, Jyoti ma'am. First, I would like to thank Akash sir and Jyoti ma'am for a brief introduction about me. So now here we are talking about business leadership and team building. So first, I would like to tell why do we need business leadership? Right. So there are so many reasons. First, it helps us to improve the goodwill of the firm, right? So if we are starting any of the firm, like आज के टाइम में जो है बहुत सारे स्टार्टअप्स स्टार्ट हो रहे हैं, ठीक है, बट दे आर फ्यू स्टार्टअप्स विच आर गेटिंग सक्सेसफुल, और जो बाकी के स्टार्टअप्स है वो नहीं हो पा रहे हैं. व्हाई, व्हाट्स द नीड, मतलब उसका रीजन क्या है कि आधे सक्सेसफुल हो रहे हैं, हार्डली वन थर्ड से भी कम ही सक्सेसफुल हो रहे हैं, बाकी सारे फेल हो रहे हैं. ठीक है. सो देयर इज अ concept that is a business leadership which is really a requirement or need of any of the organization. हम बिजनेस तो इजिली मैनेज कर लेते हैं, चलो रिसोर्स हमने परचेज कर लिया या कुछ भी हमने परचेज कर लिया जो हमें चाहिए, हमने फाइनेंस भी करा लिया, but there is a main issue that is a business leadership and it is a broader concept that we think of it. तो बिजनेस लीडरशिप में क्या है, मेनली हमें सिर्फ ये रोल प्ले नहीं करना होता है. जब हम एक मैनेजर बन रहे हैं या हम एक सीनियर अथॉरिटी बन जाते हैं तो हमें सिर्फ ये रोल प्ले नहीं करना कि हम अपने एम्प्लॉयज को या अपने सबऑर्डिनेट्स को सिर्फ हम जाके अपना ऑर्डर कर रहे हैं, या हमें कोई टारगेट हमने उन्हें दे दिया दैट यू हैव टू प्रोड्यूस दीज मच ऑफ गुड्स, और या फिर आपको ये टारगेट अचीव करना है, आपको इतनी सेल्स करनी है या जो भी करना है. हमें सिर्फ यही नहीं करना, हमें उन पे काम थोपना नहीं है जो हम काम थोप देते हैं जाके. बीइंग अ लीडर हमारा काम है कि हम उनको गाइड करें, उनको डायरेक्शन करें. हमारा काम सिर्फ ये नहीं होता कि हम उन्हें बताएं कि उनका टारगेट क्या है, हमारे ये भी काम है कि उन्हें बताएं उन्हें अचीवमेंट कैसे करनी है, हमें उन्हें ट्रेन करना है, हमें उनकी स्किल्स को इनहेंस करना है सो दैट दे कुड अचीव द सेम. सेकेंड एंड मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग, हमें एम्प्लॉयज को नीड, जो एम्प्लॉयज की नीड्स होती है हमें उसे समझना है. जो हमारे अंडर में काम कर रहे हैं हमें उसको सबसे पहले समझना होता है कि जो भी हमारे अंडर में काम कर रहे हैं उनकी फाइनेंशियली ही नीड्स नहीं है. फाइनेंशियल तो है ही, वो तो मेन है, बट उनकी कहीं ना कहीं बहुत सारी नीड्स होती है जो नॉन मॉनेटरी नीड्स में आ जाती है, लाइक उनका हेल्थ इश्यू, उनका साइकोलॉजिकल इशू. अगर वो मान लो मेंटली किसी प्रॉब्लम से सफर कर रहे हैं तो डेफिनेटली सी बात है कि वो अपना बेस्ट कंट्री नहीं कर सकते हैं कंपनी में, राइट. तो हमारा काम क्या बनता है कि पहले हम उनको काउंसिल करें कि वो किस इशू में है या किस प्रॉब्लम में है. ठीक है. तो जब हम एक लीडर की पोजीशन पे है तो हमारा काम क्या हो जाता है, सिर्फ अथॉरिटी, हम अपने काम को ही उन्हें डेलीगेट नहीं करेंगे बल्कि उनकी जो बेसिक इश्यूज हैं, बेसिकली प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, चाहे अब जब एक एम्प्लॉय एज अ न्यू एम्प्लॉय मैं कहीं ज्वाइन करूंगी या कोई भी ज्वाइन करता है तो हम सिर्फ इस मोटिव से नहीं कर रहे कि हमें 50,000 60,000 या 1 लाख रुपीज इनकम मिलेगी मंथ की. हम क्या देखते हैं कि हम साथ में साथ कि हमें नॉन मॉनेटरी बेनिफिट क्या क्या मिलेंगे, राइट. तो अगर कोई भी कंपनी ऐसी है जो नॉन मॉनेटरी, या कोई भी लीडर ऐसा है जो अपने एम्प्लॉय को ही अंडरस्टैंड नहीं कर रहा कि व्हाट द एक्चुअल नीड ऑफ हिम और हर राइट नाउ, ठीक है, अभी उसकी एक्चुअली नीड्स क्या है और हम उसको उसी के अकॉर्डिंग कॉन्ट्रीब्यूट नहीं कर पाते हैं तो कहीं ना कहीं हम एज अ लीडर फेल हो जाएंगे और हमारा बिजनेस मतलब बहुत जल्दी बंद हो सकता है. ठीक है. तो सबसे पहले हमें जरूरत होती है रिटेंशन रेशो की, जिसकी वजह से हमारा जो बिजनेस है वो गुडविल मतलब क्रिएट करता है कहीं ना कहीं मार्केट में। अगर हम आज एम्प्लॉइज को सेटिस्फाई करेंगे तो आगे जाके क्या होगा कि हमारी गुडविल मार्केट में भी बनेगी। ठीक है, तो सबसे पहले हमें लीडरशिप की इसलिए होता है। दूसरी चीज, थर्ड चीज, अगर हमारे एम्प्लॉयज हमसे सेटिस्फाई होते हैं, डेफिनेटली वो हमें 100% गोल अचीव करने में, जो हमारे कॉर्पोरेट गोल्स हैं, हमारे कंपनी के गोल्स आ जाते हैं, तो वो हमें डेफिनेटली हेल्प करते हैं, जिससे हमारी ग्रोथ होती है कंपनी की, हमारी गुडविल बढ़ती है मार्केट में जाके, हमारा प्रॉफिट रेशियो बढ़ता है, हमारा हम अपने स्टेक होल्डर्स को ज्यादा से ज्यादा आगे जाके जो है डिविडेंड पे आउट कर सकते हैं और उनसे इन्वेस्टमेंट भी ले सकते हैं। राइट, तो सबसे पहले हमें लीडरशिप की इसलिए जरूरत होती है। नेक्स्ट थिंग, अब नाउ आई वुड लाइक टू टेल फ्यू स्ट्रेटेजी, या फ्यू स्ट्रेटेजी जिसके थ्रू हम एक अच्छा लीडर बन सकते हैं। ठीक है, सबसे पहले हमारी चीज आती है इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस। राइट, इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस क्या है? ठीक है ना, तो आजकल आईक्यू तो सबने सुना है, इंटेलिजेंट क्वेश्चन, बट इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस आज के टाइम में बहुत कम लोगों ने सुना है। इमोशनल होता है कि हम अपने एम्प्लॉयज के इमोशंस को अंडरस्टैंड करें, और दूसरा हम अपने भी इमोशंस को कंट्रोल करें। लाइक अगर हमारे ऊपर स्ट्रेस है तो उसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि हमारे ऊपर स्ट्रेस आ गया तो हम सब पे जाके गुस्सा कर रहे हैं या सबसे ज्यादा एग्रेशन हम दिखा रहे हैं कि हम अपने काम थोप दें जाके, या हम दूसरे पे गुस्सा करें। इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस होता है कि अगर हमें कहीं से भी स्ट्रेस हो रहा है या हमें एग्रेशन फील होता है तो हम उस चीज को कंट्रोल वहीं पे करें। ठीक है, दैट इज अ गुड क्वालिटी ऑफ अ लीडर। अब मान लो हमने एकदम से कुछ पॉलिसीज बनाई, ठीक है, गवर्नमेंट आई, सडनली गवर्नमेंट चेंज हुई और फिर वो पॉलिसीज भी चेंज हो गई, तो हमें ये नहीं, हमें पैनिक होना है, हमें उस चीज में एक गुड डिसीजन मेकर की तरह काम करना है। तो इट्स द क्वालिटी ऑफ अ गुड लीडरशिप। राइट, सेकंड हमारा आता है कम्युनिकेशन। राइट, कम्युनिकेशन ये बहुत छोटा वर्ड है बट इट्स अ ब्रॉडर टर्म। राइट, हमें कम्युनिकेशन में ये नहीं होता है कि हमें सिर्फ जाके अपनी बात कहनी है या अपनी बात मनवानी है। कम्युनिकेशन मीन्स ये भी होता है कि हम दूसरे की बातों को भी सुने। अगर हम एम्प्लॉय से काम करा रहे हैं तो डेफिनेटली सी बात है, हमें एम्प्लॉयज की प्रॉब्लम्स को भी सुनना पड़ेगा कि एम्प्लॉयज कहाँ कहाँ प्रॉब्लम फेस कर रहे हैं। ठीक है ना, हो सकता है उन्हें भी कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स हो। मैंने जैसे अभी फ्यू मिनट्स बैक ही मैंने एक एग्जांपल दिया कि मेंटल हेल्थ, अगर वो मेंटली ठीक नहीं है तो वो फोकस नहीं कर पाएंगे, जिसकी वजह से हमारी कंपनी के लॉसेस हो सकते हैं। तो सबसे पहली बात है, हमें अपने रिसोर्सेज को जो है रिटेन करना है, जो और एम्प्लॉय एक सबसे बड़ा रिसोर्स है किसी भी कंपनी का। ठीक है, तो हमें उसकी प्रॉब्लम्स को समझना है, उसको सॉर्टेड करना है, तब हम एक गुड लीडर बन पाएंगे। ठीक है, थर्ड थिंग आती है टू ब्रिंग आउट द बेस्ट परफॉर्मेंस। राइट, हमें ये देखना है, ठीक है, कि हम अपने एम्प्लॉय से या अपने सब ऑर्डिनेट से हम कैसे अच्छे से अच्छा बेटर परफॉर्मेंस करा सकते हैं। और उसका तरीका यही है जब हम उसे मॉनेटरी और नॉन मॉनेटरी बेनिफिट दूसरा सब कुछ दे। लाइक अगर ये नहीं है, अगर वो मान लो स्टे बैक करता है और अगर हम उससे कहते हैं स्टे बैक के बदले उसे हम कुछ मॉनेटरी बेनिफिट देंगे, लाइक मैंने कह दिया इफ यू विल डू एक्स्ट्रा वर्क फॉर 1 आवर तो मैं आई विल पे यू 1000 रुपीज एक्स्ट्रा, तो डेफिनेटली सी बात है वो खुश होकर काम करेगा। बट अगर वही चीज मैं उस पर ये कह दूंगी कि नहीं यार तुम्हें ना 1 घंटे रुकना है, एज आई विल थ्रो आउट ऑफ यू, आई विल थ्रो यू आउट फ्रॉम द जॉब, ठीक है, तो डेफिनेटली क्या होगा, या तो वो जॉब छोड़ देगा या वो बहुत ही डिससेटिस्फाइड हो जाएगा और मार्केट में जाके भी 4 लोगों से कह देगा ओ माय गॉड देखो ये तो अपने एम्प्लॉय को ऐसे ट्रीट करते हैं। राइट, तो हमें जो बेस्ट परफॉर्मेंस उनसे निकलवानी है उसका भी तरीका होता है। हम उन्हें इंसेंटिव दे सकते हैं, हम उन्हें उनके लिए ट्रिप ऑर्गेनाइज कर सकते हैं, हम उन्हें अपने शेयर्स दे सकते हैं, वी कैन डू एनीथिंग। राइट, नेक्स्ट हमारा आता है सेल्फ अवेयरनेस। राइट, कि हम अपने आप को अवेयर रखें कि हमारे सराउंडिंग्स में क्या हो रहा है। लाइक अगर कोई टेक्नोलॉजिकल चेंजेस आते हैं तो हम उसको क्विकली अडॉप्ट करें। अगर हम अडॉप्ट नहीं करेंगे तो क्या होगा कि हम बाकी कंपनी से यानी कि अपनी राइवल कंपनी से कहीं ना कहीं पीछे रह जाएंगे। राइट, तो हमारा सबसे पहली रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है बीइंग अ गुड लीडर कि हम ग्लोबली, हम पॉलिटिकली, हम ज्योग्राफिकली, हम डेमोग्राफिकली हम लोगों को समझे कि लोगों के अंदर क्या चेंज आ रहा है। जैसे अगर मैं कहूँ अपने कस्टमर्स जो कि सबसे टॉप प्रायोरिटी है हर बिजनेस के लिए, तो हमें समझना है कि उनकी नीड्स में क्या क्या चेंजेस आ रहे हैं। जैसे आज के टाइम में फटाफट से बहुत रैंडमली चेंजेस आ जाते हैं कस्टमर की नीड्स में। आज उन्हें हमारी कंपनी का कोई प्रोडक्ट अच्छा लग रहा है, हो सकता है कल उन्हें दूसरी कंपनी का कोई प्रोडक्ट अच्छा लग जाए, तो हमें ये देखना है अगर वो दूसरी कंपनी की तरफ स्विच कर रहे हैं तो क्यों कर रहे हैं, आखिर दूसरी कंपनी में क्या बेटर है ऐसा जो हमारी कंपनी में नहीं है। और हमें अपनी कंपनी में उसके अकॉर्डिंगली चेंजेस लाने की जरूरत है. दैट इज अ सेल्फ अवेयरनेस. ठीक है. और सेम विद एवरीथिंग, लाइक अगर आप पॉलिटिकली भी जाओगे तो हमें देखना है कि गवर्नमेंट के अंडर में क्या क्या पॉलिसी चीज हुई है, हमें क्विकली उसको अडॉप्ट करना है. Flexibility is one of the factors that enhance the leadership quality, and that we have to do it. Next one is resilience, right? रेजिलियंस होता है कि हम किसी भी पैनिक सिचुएशन में कैसे डील करते हैं. ठीक है. अगर हम बहुत ज्यादा ऐसी सिचुएशन आ गई, मान लो हमारे मार्केट शेयर एकदम से डाउन पे चलेगा बिल्कुल ही. अभी हमारा 400 का एक शेयर था, फिर एकदम से 50 रुपीज पे आ गया. तो वी डोंट हैव टू गेट पैनिक. हमें एक अच्छे लीडर की तरह एक अच्छा डिसीजन लेके चलना है, और हमें ये देखना है कि हम कैसे उस डिसीजन को लेंगे, हमें उस सिचुएशन में क्या डिसीजन लेना है, सो दैट हमारी कंपनी में सर्वाइव कर पाए. अगर हम खुद ही पैनिक हो जाएंगे तो हम सबऑर्डिनेट्स को या अपने एम्प्लॉयज को क्या सजेशन देंगे, या उनके सामने हम क्या इमेज क्रिएट करेंगे कि एक डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशन आई है उसके सामने हम मतलब पैनिक हो गए. तो हमें पैनिक नहीं होना. राइट. मैनेजमेंट और लीडरशिप में एक फर्क है. चीजें तो मैनेजमेंट से भी पहले चल रही थी ना, बट फिर क्या हुआ, एक टर्म आई लीडरशिप. क्यों? क्योंकि लीडरशिप इज अ ब्रॉडर टर्म दैट मैनेजमेंट. मैनेजमेंट तो कुछ भी चीजें हम मैनेज कर लेंगे, चलो यहाँ से मैनेज करें यहाँ से, बट लीडरशिप इज अ ब्रॉडर टर्म दैन मैनेजमेंट. राइट. फिर हमारा आता है एक फाइनेंशियल लिटरेसी. फाइनेंशियल लिटरेसी में क्या है कि हमें हमारे अराउंड फाइनेंशियली हमें लिटरेट रहना है कि हमारे पास कितने फाइनेंशियल रिसोर्सेज है, हमें उस चीज में गुड डिसीजन मेकर लेना है. जैसे हमारा सबसे बड़ा मोटिव होना चाहिए कि हमें कम रिसोर्सेज में कैसे ज्यादा से ज्यादा चीजों को बनाना है या क्रिएट करना है या यूज करना है. लाइक अब किसी किसी के पास होते हैं, जैसे स्टार्टअप जो ज्यादातर चलते हैं कि उनके पास ज्यादा फंड नहीं होता है. ठीक है. तो वो कैसे चीप रेट से कैसे फाइनेंस कर सकते हैं खुद की फैसिलिटी को, हमें ये चीजें पता होनी चाहिए. ठीक है. तो इट इज ऑल्सो द गुड स्ट्रैटेजी फॉर अ बिजनेस लीडर. राइट. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट हम अगर हम जाएंगे तो टीम बिल्डिंग पे. ठीक है. तो ये जो स्ट्रैटेजीज है ये हर जगह फॉलो हो रही है. ये ही स्ट्रैटेजी हम फॉलो करेंगे एक टीम बिल्डिंग में भी. टीम बिल्डिंग के थ्रू हम क्या कर सकते हैं, देखो टीम बिल्डिंग करना जरूरी क्यों है. पहले तो क्योंकि अगर मान लो टीम है, मान लो मैं 10 लोगों की टीम बनाती हूँ. अगर लाइक एक क्रिकेट टीम है, ठीक है, एक क्रिकेट टीम है, उसमें 12 आई थिंक 12 लोग जा रहे हैं. अगर उनमें एक में भी मान लो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हो जाता है तो क्या होगा, हमारी टीम हार जाएगी. राइट. क्रिकेट टीम हार चुकी है अब. ठीक है ना. तो ये प्रॉब्लम होती है. अगर मान लो बिजनेस में भी अगर हम एक सक्सेसफुली टीम क्रिएट नहीं कर पा रहे, अगर किसी भी 2 लोगों में या 3 लोगों में कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हो गया, तो हम वो गोल अचीव नहीं कर पाएंगे जो हम करना चाहते हैं. चाहे वो प्रॉफिट हो, चाहे वो कोई भी गोल हो. ठीक है. स्टेक होल्डर के लिए हो, चाहे वो हाई डिविडेंड हो, कोई भी जो हमने गोल बनाया वो हम अचीव नहीं कर सकते विदाउट अ टीम बिल्डिंग. तो टीम बिल्डिंग तो होना बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है, और जो भी लोग हम ले रहे हैं उनकी कमिटमेंट जरूरी है कि वो हमारे गोल को अचीव करेंगे, जिसके लिए हमें कहीं ना कहीं फिर मैं कहूंगी एक गुड लीडर बन के रोल प्ले करना पड़ेगा, जिससे हम एक अच्छी टीम बिल्ड कर पाए. हम उन्हें इंसेंटिव दे सकते हैं, हम उन्हें मॉनेटरी नॉन मॉनेटरी बेनिफिट दे सकते हैं, हम उन्हें कभी एक्सकर्शन ट्रिप ऑर्गेनाइज कर सकते हैं, हम उनके लिए ट्रेनिंग ऑर्गेनाइज करा सकते हैं. ठीक है. तो वी कैन डू सच काइंड ऑफ थिंग. हम उन्हें ग्रुप एक्टिविटीज दे सकते हैं, हम थोड़ा उनके लिए कहते हैं ना इनफॉर्मल इन्वायरमेंट क्रिएट कर सकते हैं. क्योंकि अगर हम कंपनी में जा रहे हैं, वी आर स्पेंडिंग 8 to 9 आवर्स देयर. ठीक है. और अगर 8 to 9 आवर्स अगर हम सिर्फ उनसे काम ही कराते रहेंगे, डेफिनेटली सी बात है कि अगर एक पर्सन है तो उसका फोकस 1 आवर लगेगा, 2 आवर लगेगा. आफ्टर दैट ही और शी नीड्स अ रेस्ट. राइट. तो हम उसे थोड़ा सा इनफॉर्मल इन्वायरमेंट दे ताकि वो और भी अच्छे से टीम बिल्डअप हो सके. राइट. क्योंकि टीम बिल्डिंग बनानी बहुत जरूरी है. अगर एक छोटा सा भी अगर एक पर्सन भी अगर सेटिस्फाइड नहीं होता है या उसकी नीड मान लो कहीं ना कहीं वो साइकोलॉजिकली अफेक्टेड है, तो क्या होगा कि हम अपने गोल्स अचीव नहीं कर पाएंगे, हमारी मार्केट में गुडविल नहीं बन पाएगी, हमारे शेयर्स अच्छे नहीं हो पाएंगे, कहीं ना कहीं वैल्यूएशन खत्म हो जाएगी. दैट्स वाई, और यही रीजन है कि हमारा कहीं ना कहीं आज भी बहुत कम स्टार्टअप्स है जो सक्सेसफुल हो पाते हैं. 80% स्टार्टअप्स ऐसे हैं जो कहीं ना कहीं जाके फेल हो जाते हैं. I hope everyone understood my point. So I would like to end up here. Thanks for your time and thanks to listen me. And if you want to give any feedback, you can give it in a comment section. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing such a wonderful perspective about leadership and team building and the skills required to enhance so that you be a successful leader and the qualities required to empower your team and motivate them to perform better. Next, I would like to invite the next speaker, Mr. Rahul Tolani. So I would give a brief introduction about him. Mr. Rahul Tolani has assisted corporations in pursuing operational and performance transformations as the leader of human capital transformation. Deep engagement with the organization is the typical of his activity, which also includes promoting mindset and behavioral change, aiding in the development of leaders and assisting top teams in becoming more aligned. Rahul attempts to change the company culture while leading performance transformation efforts by altering how team members interact and the performance goals they set, helping firms become more agile, able to act swiftly to capture opportunities is his aim. He hopes to enhance the lives of all employees through enhancing the performance and health of the top organization. So, a very warm welcome to Mr. Tulani, and the stage is all yours, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jyoti, for the wonderful introduction. And thank you, ABCD International Family and Bhabat International Publication for this opportunity. So the topic for today we are talking is business leadership and team building. I've divided this whole speech into four sections. First is the caution. Second is what is leadership. Third is generating leadership. And the fourth one is enhancement. Tools which you can help develop leadership within yourself. So the first thing is caution. So the chokehold or the limiting factor of the growth of your business is just two things. It is psychology and the skills of the leader. And if you change those two, psychology and skills, not of the leader as a whole holistic skills, everything will change. The business will completely boost up. But here's the thing. We all talk about enhancing skills. We talk about changing, leveling up. I have a question for y'all. How many of y'all learned something which was invaluable from any source? It could be university, it could be YouTube videos, it could be a coach, mentor, any source. Yeah, and that point of time, you were excited about what you were learning. And the main thing was you didn't follow through. You thought this is the best thing and you're going to do this, that, and you didn't follow through. And I would say that everyone is guilty of this. Because I can give you every skill, but if you don't do it, it is a loss. It is a loss of time and energy. So what we're going to do is a lot of things today. So knowledge. So what we learned, knowledge is not power. Execution eats knowledge every day of the week, month, and year, because execution trumps knowledge all the time. You can have all the knowledge, and if you don't execute it, it's game over. Okay, so that's the caution. So next thing is, what is leadership? Leadership, if we boil it down completely, leadership is nothing but skill of influence. Your skills to influence someone. Your skills to influence someone to walk the path. Your skills to influence someone to reach the goal. Your skills to influence the whole group to go towards a particular goal. I do believe that leadership is not a position. We do say the top management, BOD, which is board of directors, MD, higher management, they are the leadership team. But I would say that leadership is not a position. It is a skill and it is a tool that is completely learnable and anyone can be trained on it. So keeping that in mind, I would say the quality of your business is completely equal to the quality of your leadership. And like I said, and it's been proven everywhere, that anyone and everyone can be a leader. Anyone and everyone can be a leader if that person decides to become a master in what they do. It might take a day, it will never take a day, it will take n number of time, but that person has to keep doing that thing till he masters it. And to master things, repetition is the mother of mastery. Okay, so when we speak about leadership, so the person has, when he's starting his leadership journey, he's growing as a leader, he needs to start with something he's committed to, something that is he's committed, which is bigger than himself, which is larger than himself, which is a vision. Sorry, which is a vision. When a person has a vision that is bigger than him, he will have something called that is passion. A passion that is the fuel which will drive him towards execution of his vision. And during that time, leadership is the capacity to disappoint your disappointments, because when you're going to this path of business leadership with the whole team, you will have disappointments, and we need to disappoint your disappointments. So why is this? Because when we start this journey, or when we are in between of this journey, we tend, because of hurdles, we tend to give up. That and during the time when we give up, a lot of failures have happened, a lot of hurdles have come, that we just make our mind it's not going to work out. But we need to disappoint that feeling and keep going ahead, because that's the place where you will succeed. And when that happens, you will need leadership. And leadership is the art and skill of influence, right? So leadership can be taught. And with that vision, anyone can have a vision, and anyone with a strong enough vision, which is big enough, will have a passion. And with that passion, a person will execute. And with that execution, you will need leadership, which is the art and skill of influence. So now what we're going to talk about, some doables, like about 8-9 doables, what we could do every day in our lives, which will enhance our business leadership and also take our team towards a different level. But this caution is that you have to do it religiously. So the first thing I would say is, you can skip a meal, but don't ever skip reading. Read 30 minutes, come what may. Read 30 minutes every day, because that 30 minutes will change your life. Read books which will help you enhance your skills, not stories, not fictionals, because they won't give you much skill. They will help you imagine stuff, but not skill. So you need to read something that will enhance what you're doing right now for your business. Okay. Then we need, like when we are feeding our minds with a lot of things, what we also need to do is strengthen your body. Like why do you need to strengthen your body? Is because when you face difficult situation, we face it with fear, and fear is physical. Like for example, we just crossed winter season right now in 2022, 2023. When we always want to have a hot water bath, and it feels fun, it feels enjoyable. But what about cold water bath? Would you ever think of that? You wouldn't. Mostly we won't think of it, because when that cold water is coming, when the shower, this cold water in the shower, you will feel like you need to go just to make your brain train your brain. But you will feel that pain. You feel your body is going numb. You will not want to make the move. It is because the pain which you feel that time is actually physical. So we need to go above that, strengthen your body. How will you strengthen your body? You can do a walk, you can lift weight, you can do something that is physical. Even if you're out of shape, you can, if you just do an intense walk, it will be helpful. If you like dancing, just dance for 5 minutes, you'll be in a good state of mind to do something, and the fear will vanish. When the fear will vanish, you will take the step that is the most beneficial for you, which your mind or which your brain will tell you don't do that. Therefore, we need to train our brains to do what we want it to do, not what our brains are making us do. Okay, so that's the second part. Third thing is role model. Why role model? We all have visions, we all want to be something. And whatever we want to be, there is someone who's made it that big. There's someone who has the financial status. There is someone, there's someone who's made it that big with the financial status and the big company with number of people. When we start associating ourselves with those people, we start believing that what we are thinking of, what is our vision, we start believing that it is true. And when we start believing it's true, we have the certainty that this can be done. And when we talk with our role models, They will help us with strategies and how to go ahead with things. So that's about it. And then when you have role model, you know what to do. What you have to do is take massive action. Massive action will get you the results, and keep changing direction. Don't ever say no, because the journey which you've gone far. You've put in efforts, you've put in time, you've put in resources, you've put in your whole energy, you've put in your soul in it. Don't say no. Go for it and keep changing your approach. Next thing is next thing about business leadership and team building would be 10,000 spent right will give you more joy than 25,000 spent the wrong way. What does this mean? It means that generally when we are taking our teams out or giving things to ourselves and our teams, we give them things, and the things will always limit. They will always limit the level of happiness, because with things you will always have this thing give me this joy. The joy is very high the first day and keeps diminishing. So we need to spend on experiences as a person and as a team, for the team. Second thing is spend money on things that will give you time. Because whatever you do, if you employ someone and the menial job which you are doing as an entrepreneur, you give it to someone, he's happy because his house is running. You're happy because someone's house is running because of you, and you have more time in focusing on your passion. And when you have that freedom of time, you can focus with more and higher productivity and efficiency. Okay. The next thing is a little story which I felt, and I also saw a video of Simon Sinek. He said the same thing. So there was this person, I was working a few years back, and there was this person who was my rival. It was a competition. When he would get the spotlight, I would feel a little jealous. I would feel insecure. And when I would get the what do you say, the spotlight, I would feel happy about it. And I was like, I did it. Then what happened actually when I saw this video was, it actually something I just realized something, that he is my worthy rival. His strengths revealed my weaknesses. Rather than me being insecure, I should have, during those time, I should have done my SWOT analysis. What are my strengths? What are my weakness? Rather than just getting the hatred and the negative and directing all that energy towards him. So when you have insecurity with the competition, what we need to do is just focus on yourself. Is because his strengths reveals your weaknesses. Okay. And since I said you have to keep going, because since you started this journey of business entrepreneurship, is because you had this large vision and passion which drove you here. But I would like to tell you, please don't stop. Why? It is just because that when you start this journey, that was your calling. And if you stop in between and not reach the end, what will happen? This thing will haunt you at the age of 70 and 80. Because if I ask you, if you could remember a memory when you were 5, 6, 7, 8, you could remember those childhood memories, right? It could be happy memories, could be sad memories. But a memory that was your calling and you didn't follow through, it will haunt you at the age of 80. And as time progresses, we keep thinking, we had so much of time, we should have done this, we should have done that. Let's not think of that when we are 80. Let's just go for it right now, and with all our strength, might, and have an unshakable mindset. Thank you. So this is what I would love to say. And thank you so much, team. Thank you for this opportunity. And I hope this is something which is what you all were looking to hear, and you can feel inspired about it and take the action and go for your dreams. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tolani, for such a powerful and energetic talk. I do believe that leadership is not a position, and it is a skill. And if we have the vision, mission, and execution, we would definitely be a great leader. Moving to the next speaker is Ms. Nidhi Bansal. Nidhi Bansal is a bilingual poet and a published author, is also an editor to various literary magazines. She loves power yoga with all passion and compassion. Having done modeling stints and giving voiceover on air, an avid marathon runner, and been of various literary platforms for poetic pretensions. She is the recipient of various world and national records on poetic front. She takes pride in announcing the launch of her book Shades of Emotions and Ehsas Ek Jharoka, and as her recent publication. Let Urja Talks is Nidhi's latest version, in which she is a candid conversation with professionals talking about their passions in life from her YouTube channel, Urja Nidhi. Founder Rangsari, her passion for the 6 yard fascination to inculcate the Indian tradition in each household. Also, the director of magazine Litero Fashionate, blending literature and style. So a warm welcome to Madam Nidhi Urja, and the stage is all yours, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Jyoti ma'am, for this wonderful introduction, and many, many congratulations to ABCD International Family and Power International Publication for this wonderful summit where we would be talking about business leadership and team building. And I would like to extend my warmest regards and heartfelt gratitude to the entire team for having me as one of the speakers, getting to know so much from everyone out here from all across the world, their piece of wisdom, their pearls of wisdom, and enlightening our minds. Thank you so much. And I would now like to take this opportunity to put my words. Brian Tracy, as once he said, that become the type of leader that people will follow voluntarily, even if you had no title or position. We have been talking a lot about business leadership and team building, but what goes into making a true leader? And how does he or she, whoever the leader is, focuses on how the things should move on in the right direction and inculcating a habit of doing the right things in the right way and building the team effort, teamwork, so that we are connected to our tribe and moving ahead. Leadership is not a trait. It is an inbuilt mechanism of a cultured mind. Anyone possessing the ability to handhold it and believes in the betterment of its community vests interest not only in personal development, but taking his tribe alongside, being a torch bearer and also a change maker, and sets his foundation of a true leadership. Connecting to empirical minds and basking in each other's sublime aura, exchanging, cultivating thoughts, culturing ideas, sharing wisdom, and spreading divine knowledge is what human mind aims at. Bringing the world to one common platform, intriguing into the realms of deep understanding, setting new age protocols, deriving contemporary solutions, and serving a full-baked line of thought. As he sets himself on a mission to molding mindsets, emphasizing on their strengths, cut, set, and polish their best quality traits, unveiling latent talent, and by and large, be that light that dispels darkness. Thwarting the cross currents of ignorance as we rearrange our curiosity, we build a diverse culture of thinking, giving birth to scientific literacy in its own profound way. Breaking glass ceilings, pegging holes, listening to multitudinous vibrations, channelizing them, agglomerating them, yet diversifying them. Brightening the kaleidoscope of knowledge and wisdom with accomplished exuberance, reforming ceaselessly, yet in concurrence, reaffirming and consolidating with each change. As we evolve as a community and grow in abundance and pledges to see the nation at one pedestal higher. You may be an icon. You may be an icon, but that does not qualify you as a leader. The attribute that separates you, that defines your true leadership quality, is the ability to listen and comprehend to each idea that has been floated, each suggestion, each grievance be given equal weightage. As you empathize, you connect. Presence and perseverance showcases the most eminent feature of leadership, dedication, determination, and devotion, amalgamated in the finest proportion, is the making of a good leadership quality. An era which is dotted with stiff competition and cutthroat tactics, where honesty and transparency and fair dealings take a backseat. True leadership is reflected when you set an example for others to tread on a path of truthfulness and integrity. As you stand tall to aspire and inspire with complete passion, building confidence in your clan and be a role model touching lives in more than so many ways, it is then you have arrived as a true leader. When you are seen as a potential power, having the guts and the grit to adapt to the changes, taking into account all pros and cons, having the capacity to take decisions and stand by them too. There may be times when decisions do not produce positive results as expected. He has a humility to accept his mistakes and make necessary amendments, apologizing and learning from past experiences and not repeating them in future. He sets an example for others. Making mistakes does not mean that a leader stops taking risks. He should be audacious enough to take up challenges. Leadership does not always mean that you lead your pack from front always, but we silently observe his tribe and incite them to move ahead in the right direction, at the same time giving them the liberty to crave their own path, allowing them to make their own mistakes and learn from them. Supporting their efforts and encouraging each endeavor, helping them realize their own self-worth. A leader having rich oratory skills and has the half battle already won. The commitment and honesty in his voice acts as a major catalyst in connecting to all. A friendly disposition, approachable and charming persona makes the working environment a lot congenial and allowing various aspects of one's personality to develop naturally. As he talks about growth and progression, he talks about a self-generated phenomenon wherein mental dynamics move in accordance to knowledge and beyond. He strongly believes in exploring the untrodden path and discovering the undefined. He educates and empowers youth with information, state-of-the-art technical assistance, avant-garde infrastructure, futuristic approach, and empower them to set modernistic goals, generating a lineage of protocols which set their own soaring standards. Not just hand-holding, but gripping them firmly, exchanging, learning, ideas with each other, broadening the sphere of understanding and comprehending with the present day scenario. A true leader strongly believes in carrying forward the legacy with equal respect and charm, thereby inculcating a holistic culture amongst all, rejuvenating, refining, rebuilding, not as an individual, but as a nation. Freedom lies in the way we perceive our thoughts. So let these thoughts be of progression and let there be scope for evolvement, thereby having an effect not only as per individual, but spreading virtues, righteousness, widely touching souls and coming up as a nation. The philanthropic extensions of the mind, cauterizing the grooves and visualizing energies, we as humans stand victorious. And today I have set my own goals for being a good leader, setting new examples and building a strong team leadership values in all of us. And I also like to thank Mr. Akash for giving this opportunity to speak my mind. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Nidhi ma'am, for such a wonderful talk and sharing your perspective about leadership. Thank you so much, ma'am, for that. Next, I would like to invite Ms. Radhika Bali, our next speaker. A little introduction about Ms. Radhika Bali. Radhika Bali is an image and personality sculptor, internationally certified image consultant, and soft skills trainer. She helps people to be the best version of themselves by enhancing their personality inside out with appearance management, behavior, and communication. Founder of Ux by Radhika, she brings with her more than 2 decades of wide range of experience in varied fields, from being a teacher and educationist to corporates, a researcher in the field of curating museums and archiving folk art forms of India, a professional speaker and a member of PSAI. She is a corporate trainer, life coach, and a posh enabler, etiquette coach, and a team building expert. Passionate about helping and working with the underprivileged, she comes from the army background, an army brat and an army wife. She has been an active member with Army Wives Welfare Association for 25 years and has been the president at the battalion level for 3 years in the past. She has been working with and for the Army Wives very passionately. Currently working in the field of training and coaching, helping students in schools and universities unleash their personality and be impactful leaders. She has also been a part of Business Blaster initiative conducted by Delhi government for the past 2 years as a student mentor and a panelist in the panel of judges for the final round. So a very warm welcome to Radhika ma'am, and the stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, Jyoti ma'am, for this wonderful introduction of mine that you gave. I am really humbled with that. And a very good evening, good morning, and good afternoon to all the ladies and gentlemen present in this session. Well, at the outset, I would like to thank Mr. Akash Bhabad, ABCD International, and Bhabad Publication International for giving me the opportunity to speak in this forum on the topic business leadership and team building. To begin with, what is leadership? So leadership is the art to motivate a group of people to act towards achieving a common goal. In a business setting, this means directing workers and colleagues with a strategy to meet the company needs, which are the common goals which we have for the company. Well, global giants like Ford, Apple, Microsoft, and Reliance Group have many different businesses, markets, and products, but they all have one thing in common. What is that one thing? Yes, that one thing is the effective leaders. Henry Ford, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, and Dhirubhai Ambani, they have all started with a vision and rose to being global giants. Propelled their businesses and took it to the levels where it is an unparalleled success for the companies. Not that they haven't faltered anywhere, they have, but for their own companies, they have been amazing leaders and motivators, of course. So to say that all of them, although they are from various fields, the definition of and styles of their leadership has been different, but there is something which is common in all of them. And the thing which is common in all of them is their integrity, their work ethic, their strong character, honesty, ability to inspire others, to be a role model, the vision, taking risk-taking abilities, and the analytical mindset. There are different kinds of leaderships, as we all know, and we have been hearing about in the past, which are the autocratic leadership, which is commonly known as the military leadership or the Hitler-style leadership, bureaucratic, democratic, laissez-faire, charismatic, and so on. But for me, the situational leadership is today's mantra of leadership. This model was created by Dr. Paul Hersey. He was a professor, rather is a professor and an author of The Situational Leader, and by Ken Blanchard, author of the best-selling 1 Minute Manager. This model focuses on 4 leadership styles. The first is the directing style, the coaching style, the supporting style, and the delegating style. Well, so what is leadership according to me? According to me, when I take leadership as an abbreviation, so leadership is listening and learning skills. A good leader cannot be a leader if he is not a good listener. He should have the ability to listen to others, at the same time be open to learning. Empowerment should be able to empower the team members by being able to delegate work appropriately and effectively, and letting their confidence, talents, creativity unleash by providing proper guidance and limits. Accountability. As the leader who is accountable for work and has the ability to take on the ownership of his success and failure, most importantly, the problems get solved and the trust is integrated, and the trust and integrity is maintained, is able to set examples for the team members to follow. Diplomacy, to ensure that the team is on the same page and the work is being done together towards a common goal. Despite any cultural, political, or personal differences, the leader has to tackle issues very diplomatically. Empathy, which is again a very important pillar in leadership. By empathizing with your team and being able to understand their problems, by being in their shoes, you would be able to find better solutions to the problems and solve them faster with ease. Resilience. By being resilient, one is open to change, take on risk, and are more resourceful and agile, hence are able to handle fear and anxiety and failures better, more positively instead of blaming others. Self-awareness. The better you understand yourself, the better you are aware of your own follies and your strong points, you can perform more effectively and work on yourself. Also work with the team. Humility. Only if the leader is able to accept his mistakes and say sorry and work on correcting them, can he expect his team members to do the same. By doing so, he sets an example for the others to follow. So lead by example. Influence, integrity, and initiative. A good leader is the one who is able to lead through influence and not authority. Always does the right thing, even though it may be unpopular or tough. Values integrity and gains trust, thus influencing the minds and hearts of others. Takes the initiative to do even small tasks around and leads by example. Last, being patient and problem solving. Being patient at work and not jumping to conclusions, being understanding, leads to long-term success. With facing problems patiently and understanding, finding possible solutions and overcoming obstacles leads to success. Well, all this brings me to a very apt example which rings a bell in my mind of effective leader, and that is of Bhuvan. Well, do you remember Bhuvan? All right. So have you seen the movie Lagan? Do you remember Lagan? Amir Khan?
Yes, ma'am, we remember.
Yes. So Amir Khan played the role of Bhuvan in this movie, and which was a perfect example of leadership, according to me. The entire village was on the verge of losing their land because of the heavy taxes levied by the Britishers. The problem was faced by the entire village. But then there rose a man, Bhuvan, who challenged the Britishers to a game of cricket. Bhuvan displayed all the characteristics of an effective leader. He started with a vision, an idea, and executed into perfection. He gained knowledge of the game. So gaining knowledge of the subject you're working on is very important for a leader. Selected the right people for the right job. Created an infrastructure and resources in the form of the sports equipments and the training ground. Then he imparted effective training. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Perfectly.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
All right, thank you. So he imparted effective training, maintained his focus, and despite all odds, he was determined to be the winner, to take his team as a winner. I just got a message. Is my video off? Am I visible?
No, ma'am. Your video is on. Perfectly fine. Please
All
continue.
right. All right. Thank you. And because of this determination, he faced a lot of problems. There was, if you remember, there was one of the player who was from a different caste. There was somebody who was physically handicapped. And there was a lot of tiff within the team initially for not playing with each other. But then he strategized it and he got everybody together on the same platform because they had one common goal, which was to get their land back and free it from the taxes of the Britishers. He displayed excellence in decision-making capabilities. He faced the challenges and he led his team by personal examples, motivated the team, and accomplished his success eventually by winning the game. Well, this is what an effective leader is. And when we talk about team building, a leader is nothing without his team. He has to take his team with him. There are problems we face, so the leader has to be ready with the contingency plans, just as we do in the army. You do not know what happens the next minute. So a plan B should always be ready. You should not let your team get demotivated, and you should always be there to inspire them, to motivate them. And for that, you need to set your own personal examples. That is from me and trust, of course, is a main part. Your communication skills plays a very important role. It is not important what you say, but how you say it is important. What are you trying to convey to your team is important. And to know whether you are conveying what you're wanting to convey, is the right message getting conveyed to the team, is very important. 2 days back, on the 24th, somebody spoke about the poor performers. So all those people, somebody being a handicap and not knowing how to perform, showing him his ability of maybe he could be the best spinner in bowling and telling him to bowl, which helped them reach their success, reach their goal. So instead of demotivating somebody and telling them you can't do this, pick up that one good thing and tell them, oh, this is very good about you. Why don't you work on this and you will be able to achieve? It is very important for a leader to take your team together. Thank you.
Thank you, Radhika ma'am, for such a wonderful talk and sharing your perspective about leadership, the different leadership styles, and how what you say is not important, but how you say is important. So thank you so much for sharing such a beautiful perspective, and listening to you has always been a pleasure. We do not have one speaker with us, Mr. Mohit Kupral, who has not joined us. And we have been done with all the speakers. We have heard them and they have shared their perspective.
Today we have Merin Mia ma'am from South Africa. She's also with us.
Okay.
I think we miss her.
Okay, sure. So
I will introduce her. No problem. So today we have one more great personality with us. She's NLP practitioner. She's a professor, and of course she's from South Africa, and regularly connected with the ABCD International Family and Babad International Publications activities and initiatives. She contributed more, and whenever we organize summits and any initiatives, she always ready to contribute, always ready to help everyone. She's also brand ambassador of Babad International Publication, and let's welcome her on this wonderful evening. So welcome, ma'am, and over to you.
Thank you so much, my brother Akash. Thank you to ABCD and to Babad International and to all of the esteemed speakers. I have to say, from every single person I've heard, I too have learned so much. So thank you to everyone, especially over the past 2 days who've contributed. I was not there, but I did watch afterward. So thank you very much to everyone. And I am grateful for this opportunity to share my little bit about the topic, which is very important, especially considering what is going on in today's world, what is happening with the economy throughout the world, in different parts of the world, different countries, especially different areas of economics. It's very important for us to understand what is this concept of leadership, and of course, what is this concept of team building. And the one key factor for me is we need to understand that it's not necessarily just about team building in your workplace. Team building is about you building your home, building within yourself, building your structures with your family. And that is key, because if you get that right, you'll be able to build any team anywhere. That's for me very important. So when we talk about team building, also remember that it is not something that is just done once off with your team and then it's done, simply because it's a tick on your checklist for your business. Team building has got to be continuous. Team building has got to be you at it with your team, getting to know your team and enhancing the relationship between your employees or your family members, whatever it may be. But it is a constant growth because the economy is growing. Change is always happening. People's lives are altering. So the team building exercises you put together have got to be constantly busy and at work. And team leaders play a key role with this, because only when you are this kind of a leader are you then responsible to take every individual employee with you and bring them together as a cohesive team. That is what makes you the leader. And that's what makes you the team leader. That key factor is when you realize that leadership is important, not just in me as a leader, but for my team. When you start to consider that you are part of that team, that you as a leader are not outside the team. That is a very key important factor for me, and I try and teach this to everybody who is a leader today. Do not think that because you are a leader or given the role as a team leader, it makes you superior to the rest of your team. All it's doing is giving you certain roles and responsibilities and duties that are different from other team members because of your capability. But it does not make you superior to the rest, where you make them feel lower than you. You as that team leader have got to do what is right by your entire team for that holistic team building to work, for your business to grow. So when we talk about you as a team leader, you need to be guiding your team. And as leaders, you don't just give instructions to individuals, you actually decide which direction the group has to go in together, collectively, because teammates have to bring that vision to life by working together. And the first rule for me as team building is an obvious one. You need to lead your team effectively. You have got to learn to first establish, firstly, what is your leadership role? What exactly are you wanting to accomplish with the team building exercise? And then when you look at your team, establish your role with each of your team members individually first. Because if you don't know each one of them, how are you going to be able to lead them? Remember that the most effective team leaders build their relationships of trust and loyalty rather than the fear, rather than the power struggle, because that does not work. So when we have to ask ourselves, why then is this leadership so important? Because it should be that I'm the boss, I'm the leader. Why is it important in business to have this leadership concept? Because leaders have to be the ones who give direction. Leaders give you that vision. They motivate you. They have to inspire you as the employee to achieve what the organization's goals are. So when you are employed in an organization, that organization has already got a preset goal, preset vision, preset mission. And when you are given the role of being part of that employment, your leader has got to be the one to guide you, to establish with you, these are organization goals. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? And let me try and adapt to what you can do and then grow you. So when you're doing team building, you're actually enhancing that particular person's growth in your company as well as within themselves. So they see themselves as somebody who's growing through your organization, through your team building. And when somebody is feeling that growth at your team building exercise, they take that positive energy home. So it grows within their home as well. Remember, whatever we do always has an after effect. If you're at home and you have an issue and you carry that to work, it's going to counter your productivity at work. If you have an issue at work and you bring that home, it's going to counter your role in your home. So everything has to be balanced, and that is key for you as a leader to learn. As a leader, you cannot bring one into the other. You have got to know where the barrier has to be drawn and what exactly needs to be done. So one of the primary functions of business leadership, we know, is to encourage all employees to work together, because the goal is a common goal, and togetherness is key for how we get to that goal. So when we set goals and when we're setting these things, we have to set achievable ones, meaningful goals, meaningful objectives, and we have to be communicating them effectively so that the rest of our team actually understands what the tasks are, what exactly this business leader is wanting from us, and why. How are we going to gain from it? Not just how the business is going to gain from it. Because everybody would love to feel important. Your business is not the only thing that's important. Your profit and production is not the only thing that's important. The importance is also those employees that are working for you, who are giving their 200% to you. So they need to feel, when you're doing your team building, they need to feel that they're building themselves for themselves first. That is their intimate motivation to give you 200% for yourself. So let us remember that building companies, obviously we know, requires the know-how to build long-lasting teams. You don't want your team to be offset. One team today, half of them are gone tomorrow, another half coming next month. No. You need to build a company and you need to build a business that has teams that would love to continue working with you, that give you total loyalty and dedication. And for you to get that from your employee means that you have got to be a good leader. So you need to grow within yourself in your leadership capabilities, and you have to obviously grow your employees to find the best of them being the best leaders that they can be too, because they can be. Different roles can be enhanced and they can be better. Just a few tips, 3, that I would like to leave with everyone on how you can actually build successful teams as a business leader. But remember, this is not just, like I said, about your business. This is about you as the leader. This is about your employees, yes, but it's also for people that you have in your home, in your community, in your society. So when you're building and you're team building and you want successful teams and you want successful builder, the key for me, number one, is be aware of how you are working. As a leader of the team, you have to be extremely aware of your leadership style, of your techniques, and are they effective? Because what you might think is effective for you, shouting and screaming at somebody, dictating to somebody, where you think you're boss, and you're not getting the result, might not necessarily be working. So be honest with yourself and be aware of what is your technique. Is it working really? Are your people really happy? Are they accepting what you like and what you don't like, how you're speaking, how you're not speaking? Are they accepting what you wish for them, from them? It's very important to evaluate yourself as the leader, and it's critical that you are able to also take criticism about your leadership style. If somebody is telling you that you are doing something wrong, please do not ignore it. Understand it, understand where it's coming from, and grow from it to build yourself as a leader. Criticism is good. And if you are a good leader, then you will really appreciate it. You will appreciate being criticized for something that you are doing wrong and grow from it. Another key thing for me is get to know your team. Get to know everyone that's in your team, because as much as you as a leader are going to always be held accountable for your actions, you need to remember that if you maximize performance and results of your teammates and your people that you are building, then you will be able to not have to be held accountable so much for wrongs. You can be held accountable for them growing and being happy. The one point that I'd love to also leave you with is clearly define roles and responsibilities. Most often, we just give a task and expect it to be done. Do we know whether that person is even good at it or not? So when you are somebody who gets to know your team, you will then more effectively learn how you can define roles and responsibilities within your team. And don't assume that this is an easy step, because it's not. Actually, this is where you will find difficulty, because you have to analyze job descriptions, you have to analyze people and get to know your team. And each team member's responsibility has to be interconnected with what they have to do to produce results for you. So it's very, very key that you learn that these are key factors for you to build your business. But as much as you're building your business, you are building your leadership within you. You're building yourself as a leader. You're building your team as the best employees. So I won't take up more time, and just want to say thank you again to Brother Akash for this opportunity. And thank you to our moderator and every other speaker. I'm honored to be part of the Bavad International Group and to be here with you from South Africa. All the best and God bless everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am, for the wonderful sharing on team building. So I would like to request all, please start your camera. Okay. So before आप सभी ने किया, thank you. Thank you, Jyoti ma'am, for the wonderful moderation, and thank you, Manoj sir, Mary ma'am, Niti ma'am, Radhika ma'am, for the wonderful sharing on business leadership and team building. एक्चुअली ये टॉपिक के पीछे कुछ रीजंस भी थे. जैसा आप सभी को पता है कि हम हर महीने अलग अलग थीम्स के ऊपर समिट ऑर्गेनाइज कर रहे हैं, और इसके पीछे इंटेंशन यही है, ऑब्जेक्टिव यही है कि अलग अलग लोग आए. और ये जो लाइव करने के पीछे रीजन ये है कि आज ना कल बहुत सारे लोग देखेंगे, तो उनको कुछ ऐसे पॉइंट्स, कुछ ऐसी चीजें पता चले ताकि वो अपने बिजनेस में, अपने लाइफ में ग्रो हो. और बस यही है कि जहाँ पे हम सब लोग मिलके कुछ शेयरिंग करते हैं, एक दूसरे से कुछ हम अलग अलग चीजें सीखते हैं, और सीख के आगे बढ़ने के लिए ये प्लेटफॉर्म बनाया गया है. और क्यों ना फिर हम ये प्लेटफॉर्म को अलग अलग तरीके से यूज करें. जैसे अलग अलग थीम्स के ऊपर अगर हम सेशन अरेंज करते हैं, तो अलग अलग टॉपिक्स पे हम सीखेंगे, अलग अलग टॉपिक का नॉलेज हम सबको यहाँ पे मिल सकता है, एक दूसरे को एक्सचेंज कर सकते हैं और आगे बढ़ सकते हैं. तो ये इनिशिएटिव है, हर महीने हम ये ऑर्गेनाइज करते जाएंगे. एक और इम्पोर्टेंट चीज मैं यहाँ पे शेयर करना चाहता हूँ कि अभी हम एक मैगजीन के साथ भी आने वाले हैं. तो मैगजीन ABCD इंटरनेशनल वॉच टावर करके है. तो आप सभी से रिक्वेस्ट है, कोई भी यहाँ से अगर अपने ग्रुप में, मैं फिर भी मैसेज भी डाल दूंगा, अगर कोई ये समिट के ऊपर कोई आर्टिकल लिख सकते हैं या हर एक डे के अकॉर्डिंग लिख सकते हैं, तो बहुत अच्छा है. आप आर्टिकल सबमिट कर सकते हैं. तो 1 मार्च को अपन वो आर्टिकल या मैगजीन को, ई मैगजीन को रिलीज करेंगे, तब तक सबमिट करना है. और फिर आप सभी का एक फोटो एक अच्छा छोटा सा बायो, और आप लोगों ने जो टॉपिक शेयर किए हैं, जो भी चीजें यहाँ पे शेयर किए हैं, तो उसका एक छोटा सा आर्टिकल, एक 10 to 15 लाइंस में भी आप शेयर कर सकते हैं। 15 लाइन से कम भी हुआ तो भी चलेगा, तो एक शॉर्टली आप शेयर कीजिए, ताकि वो आर्टिकल को हम मैगजीन में ऐड करके आपके फोटो के साथ हम उसमें पब्लिश कर पाए और उसको लॉन्च कर दे। कुछ अलग इनिशिएटिव, ये हमारे लिए भी एक इनिशिएटिव होगा, सेवा का मौका होगा, तो क्यों ना फिर हम एक एडिशनल चीज करें। सो ऐसा कुछ करते हैं। और इसके अलावा एक और चीज, तो फर्स्ट मैं कंक्लूड कर लेता हूँ, फिर अपन एक डिस्कस करते हैं 1-2 मिनट के लिए, फिर लाइव स्टॉप करके। सो थैंक यू वंस अगेन, एंड ओवर टू यू ज्योति मैम, आप कंक्लूड कर लीजिए, फिर अपन डिस्कस करते हैं।
Okay, thank you so much, Akash ji, and thank you to all the eminent speakers for giving us an opportunity to listen to them. So today we end the 3-day summit of on business leadership and team building. It has been a wonderful 3-day session, and it was so good listening to all the eminent speakers coming from different fraternity and background, and coming together and sharing their values, views, and ideas, and giving us the privilege to know them. So, as rightly said by Nidhi ma'am, that leader is one who carries forward the legacy and gives a holistic environment to his employees. And the key to successful leadership is influence, not authority. So, with so many beautiful perspectives coming from all different speakers, we would like to end this 3-day summit today. And we will definitely come up with another session on a very informative topic, which will be helpful for us to implement and put it into practicality in our daily work and life. So I would like to conclude on a note that a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. So thank you to all the respected eminent leaders for being present here and giving their time and the opportunity to know you all. So may I request everyone to just show a thumbs up so that we can take a group picture right away. One more. Okay, done. Thank you so much, everyone. And over to Akash ji.
Yes, thank you once again. And